Good morning. Hi, this is Tracy Payton. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today's webinar is actually two parts. Part one is going to be creating the company store and putting the logos on and editing the actual store and customizing the color scheme and so forth. Part two is going to be actually adding products onto that store. So we're going to be conducting it over the next 2 days, today at 10 Pacific, and then tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific. So hopefully you'll be in attendance for tomorrow's webinar as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Because it is a webinar, I do have everybody in the mute mode. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and type those into the question area on the webinar control panel, and I'll be answering those questions throughout the webinar. And if for some reason I don't get to them during the webinar, I will definitely save a few minutes and address those after the webinar. So I just want to make sure that we're ready to go. So if someone could type in the questions area or the chat area and just let me know that you can see my screen and hear me okay, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Great. Okay, so I'm actually going to create the company store out of my Vision system. And I am aware that not everybody on this webinar has Vision. So if you do need to create a company store and you only have the store, which is like your franchisee website, you can definitely call support and we can create you a store and then give you the URL so you can go ahead and access the back end of that store and customize that store for your customer. If you have Vision, it's a little bit easier because you can create the company store, like the shell of the company store, out of your Vision system. And that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm logged into Vision, which is that order management POS system that you guys will be getting soon if you don't have already. And over in websites is where I'm going to find and manage all my customer stores as well as my franchisee website. So I'm in a training type database, so I have a lot of company stores that I've played around and created, but we're going to go ahead and create one from scratch. So what you should see up here at the top is the 35 store credits I have available. You will have a number here. With EnboardMe, you do get an unlimited number of company stores. And so you can create those stores for whatever customer that you like. And they could be fully activated stores where the e-commerce is turned on and the customer is using that store to purchase, or they could be stores that you create for a customer, and if they're not using that store, you can go ahead and delete that and create another store. So if I have credits available, which you all will, you just hit create a new store. And you're going to create it for a customer. So we'll create customer. And this is going to pull up our customer database. So today I'm going to be creating, over the next couple days, I'm going to create a company store for Esperanza High School. And we're going to put some different spiritware items on that website. So I'm going to find Esperanza, the customer. And hit go. Now I've got two, so I'm going to go ahead and use this customer, select it, and hit the select button. There we go. And then it will populate the company information there for me. So it's pulling from my customer database. So we'll have my address and so forth. Now over here is the company logo that will show on the products as well, or actually this is the logo that will show up at the top of the store. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that logo, but we're going to change it in a little bit when we start customizing the store. The branding logo is the logo that will be put on the various products. Now with the EnboardMe stores, I don't need to select a branding logo because I will be uploading images with custom logos on those images. So I don't necessarily want a branding logo selected at this point. So I just wanted to mention that. So what we're going to do is we only want to select a company logo at this point. And then if I go to step 2, this is going to be where I can choose the template for that company store. I'm just going to use a standard template here. I'm going to leave the main color and the text color right now. We'll go in on the back end of the store and edit that. And then the categories, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm just going to not select a category. So I don't want any categories. Vendors, I'll just put all for right now. And then I also have that ability to increase or decrease the markup for that store. So for this particular company store, I want to increase the markup by 5% because I'm going to give 5% of the sales back to the high school football team. So that's my thinking, and so I'm going to go ahead and increase that right there. And when I do so, I'm going to go ahead and create this store. Okay, so my store's been created, so I can go ahead and view that website. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward, basic website. We don't have any customization. So again, this is just the template or the shell that we're going to begin working with. Now, obviously, with company stores that you're dealing with, we're going to turn off all the categories because we're only going to offer roughly 5 or 6 products on this particular company store that are customized for Esperanza High School. So what I'm going to do is, now that I've got my store, I'm going to come in here and on the back of my URL, I'm going to put /manage. And this is going to allow me to get to the back end of the store so I can customize and edit the store and make it more user-friendly for that particular Esperanza High School group that I'm spinning it for. Now, at this point, I do want to mention, if you do not have vision, this is where you would first get your store. So once you call support here at Trade Only, they'll create this shell for you, give you the URL, and then you can do everything from the next from this point forward. So you'll put the /manage, and then we'll have to log in to that store's back end. So I'll put my password here. Okay, so the back end of this, which is the management area, looks like this. It's very similar that if you practiced and worked with any of your franchisee websites, the management area on the back end of any of these websites is roughly the same. But with a company store, we're going to be turning on and off features that are a little bit different than your franchisee website. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to not worry so much about the general details and contact details. Those are going to be coming from that customer record that we initially pulled the information on when we created the site. So what we're going to do is, the first thing is we want to take a look at the appearance of the site. So we're going to come over here to the overall layout. And the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of customize this header, which is in the text HTML module. You can see it here with the dot, and then there's a pencil for edit. This middle button is a show or hide, or you can delete it. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to edit this information. So I'm going to click on the edit button. And I created it using this logo, but at this point I don't want to use the logo. I'm going to delete that logo. And I'm going to bring in more of a banner type format logo. So I'm going to come in here to the image and I'm going to insert a new image. So I'm going to browse my server, and I don't have it uploaded to the server yet. So I'll go out to my computer and I'm going to grab the Esperanza one, I think. And I will open that and upload it to the server. So now I've got kind of a banner, a longer image that I can use up at the top. So I'll select it and then it pulls it in there. So we'll do 960. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and publish right now so I can take a look at what that change is going to look like on the front end for my customers. Okay, so we'll go ahead and view the site. So the first thing you want to do is once you create that website, you're going to come into the back end and you're going to want to take a view of what that site looks like. And right here, I'm going to need to come out a little bit more. So that's good that I'm taking a look at that at this point. Now, the other things I notice is I have all these categories. And like I said, I'm only going to have a few products on this company store. So I want to turn off all those other products and categories on the store. So the next thing I'm going to do is come into the management console. So again, we're going to go to the management area and I'm going to come to this products drop down. And I want to come in to categories. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn off all these categories. Now, I can also mention at this point, if you want to create a new category, you can do that as well. So we're going to turn off all these because, again, we're only offering a certain number of customized products on this page. So we'll go ahead and uncheck these. Okay, and then if I come up to the very top, I'm going to go ahead and save my changes. So I've turned off all the categories, and then I might want to add a category. So if I want to add a category, I can come in here and I can give it a name. So if I want to just call it spirit wear. Okay, and we can save. So we've created a new category called spirit wear. And you'll see that that category is now turned on by this check mark down here at the bottom. Okay, so that's the first thing. We want to come in and we want to edit those categories. The next thing we want to do is come over to products, again, the drop down, and we want to take a look at suppliers. And this is where you can determine who shows up on your site. So right now, the products that I'm going to offer on the site are from Sanmar. So I'll come in here and find Sanmar. So I'm going to actually make Sanmar preferred. And I'm also going to use Bodic. And I'll move those to preferred. And I'm also going to use Alpha. And the last one I'm going to do is Hit. Now the rest of them, these will show up as my preferred suppliers. Anything in this general column will show up on my site, or I can hide them. So if I want, for this particular store, I'm going to just select all that are in this column and go ahead and hide them. Because the only ones I want are those 6 products from those vendors here. Now you will be able to add a new vendor. And when you add a vendor, you can come in here and you can see that they're not assigned yet. So they're not in any one of these columns. So you would need to move them to the general column or the preferred column if you wanted their products to appear on the site. So right now we're just going to choose those 4 vendors and suppliers, and I'm going to save my changes. Okay, so I've made my changes. The next thing I'm going to do, because if this is coming down into my vision system for me to take orders, is I'm going to come up here to contacts and I'm going to add this particular store as a vendor. So it will be referenced when I add in the products that I want to offer on this store. So I'm going to go new supplier and I'm going to add Esperanza High School as a supplier. And we could put in the city. Okay. Now the other thing I have is once I've added this supplier, I can determine what sites I want that to appear on. So I can take a look at these websites and I can choose which ones I want to have that supplier appear on. You're really only going to check the one website that you've created because you only want them to appear as a supplier on that one company store. That is their company store. I just don't know what other websites are here, so I will go ahead and see if we can find that Esperanza one. We'll put them on these two as well. Okay, so once you've made those changes and you've selected what websites you want that supplier to appear, you can hit save and it will add that supplier. And if I come back over to this products drop down and I take a look at the suppliers now, I should see Esperanza High School here in the new unassigned. So I will want to select them and move them onto the site and save my changes. Okay, so now what we're ready to do is we can continue to kind of make some edits on the site, but this way you've set the tone for the products you're going to be adding to your company's store. And we are going to be adding the products tomorrow to the store. However, I will find a few products today and be able and put those products up on the home page. But we will be officially adding them tomorrow. But we've gone ahead and we've selected our suppliers, we've selected our categories, so we're ready to add those products. The other thing I want to do is go back to that appearance and that overall layout. We're going to go ahead and fix this module up at the top. So we're going to expand that a little bit more. And save that. And then I'm also going to go ahead, I'm going to publish that, and I want to change some of the colors to customize the site a little bit. So we'll come back up to the appearance and we'll go into style and colors. And here's where you can change the theme or the background or the colors of the site. So you can go ahead and change things here. So what we can do is our box headings, we can come in here and header, let's come up here. And we can also maybe edit the product list. We'll give the background of that cardinal color. And I think that's it for right now. So we can change some of those colors and schemes. Now we also had that little background of the image, that backpack. We can go ahead and say no background image. And then we can go and save our changes. Okay. Now, the other thing that we'll want to do is when we start to add products to that Esperanza High School Spiritwear category, we'll want those products to show up. So we're going to have to come to overall layout. And there's two things we can do. We can go ahead and put that Spiritwear up here on the toolbar, which is the first thing that I would do. Or we can also put it down here in categories. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do both. Up here at the top, I'm going to edit this toolbar, which is this module, and I'm going to delete promotional products because we don't want all those promotional products. And I am going to come in here and we created a category. So I'm going to link that category to that toolbar. So select category, and then I'm going to find that Spiritwear and insert. So I've got that Spiritwear. So you can put categories or you can create pages and you can put those on your toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and save. and then you'll see it now here. Now, if I wanted to, instead of just having spirit wear, I could have football, cheerleading, I could have different departments at the high school if I had different products that I wanted to offer those departments. Now, the other thing I can do is come into categories, and I can link the category. So we can get rid of all this. Even though they're not showing, just to keep it clean. And then we'll add that spirit wear here. So we'll select again the category, and we'll find spirit wear, and we'll insert it. So you now have spirit wear down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish the changes that we made, and then we'll view the site. And I'm going to take some questions before I put some product on just the home page manually. So we'll go ahead and view the site. So now our site looks a little bit like that. It's different. We've got the spirit wear up here, and we've got the spirit wear category here. So we've made quite a few changes. And again, this is the home page. So we want to take off these products, and that's what I'm going to do next. But I want to answer any questions on what we've covered up to this point. Okay, well, if there isn't any questions, what we'll do now is we're going to edit that home page. So I'm going to come into the management console again, and this time I'm going to find the home page. So I want to come up to Content, Pages, and we're going to go into this home page right here, and we're going to edit the contents of that page. So right now what you see is a module right now with some products on it. So there's 2 product list modules. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete those. And we're going to add a new product list module. So we're going to come back up to this up here, and I can add a product list module and insert that module. And now this is where I can enter some codes of products that are already in the system. Now, what you'll do for these company stores is you're going to need to add product to your spirit wear. And we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do that tomorrow. But if I want to just use a product code that from one of the products that are already in here, I can do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and publish. And I'm going to find a couple products that are already in the database that I can use just on my home page for the time being. So we'll go ahead and under this products drop down, we can find a product. And this is where you'll be able to find existing products in the database as well as the ones that we're going to add tomorrow. And those are held within your own products. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to find a polo, or, let's do a t-shirt. And I'm actually going to do, I don't want to use a blue. Okay, so we'll go ahead and use this t-shirt here. And I'm just going to key in this product code 88163. Okay, then the other one I'm going to do is maybe that has a burnout t-shirt for women. I think Bodic has one. Okay, so we've got this one too. We can do 71990. And these we're just going to use as placeholders until we can add those products tomorrow. And the last one I'm going to do is maybe a hat. And we'll do it from Sanmar. And we've got this new era, and we'll do 161661. Okay, so I have 3 products that are already in our database that we'll just use on the home page as a placeholder until we can add our products tomorrow. So I'm going to come back over to the content, and I'm going to go into pages, and I'm going to go back to the home page. So there's the home page. I'm going to go into contents. Now we added this product list module, so we're going to go in now and edit by clicking on that pencil. And I grabbed those product codes, so I'm just going to simply insert the product codes here. And the next one is 71990, and then 88163. So we've got our new products there that we're going to put on the home page. And I'm going to just do three per row, random, so that's fine, and save. And then we'll go ahead and publish. And then we'll just talk about what we did here today on this first webinar. And again, we'll be working with the products on tomorrow's webinar. So we'll view the site. So what I did is I put a banner type image up here on the HTML block so that we have a nice logo up at the top of the website. And then I turned off all the existing categories, as well as I hid that promotional products page. And I added the category spirit wear. And we're going to be adding products to this category tomorrow. I also went into the back end and I selected just 3 or 4 vendors to show up on my site. And then finally, I went in and on my home page, I just edited the home page to show a few products. So I did edit some of the color scheme as well. And again, you can customize that on the back end under the style and colors of the website. So I want to take any questions at this point before we conclude today's webinar. And like I mentioned, I hope to see you on tomorrow's webinar. In the meantime, if you do have a vision system, feel free to create the shell of a company store and start to build it. And then again, we're going to look at adding the product on it tomorrow. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone has any questions. I've recorded this session, so I will post it up on the website so you can take a look at that at embroideremeducation.com. So if you need to review anything that we covered today. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.